remember to look at the light and not you.
And that is how we start our episode for She-Hulk today. That's me and Kevin. And we're coming back at you because we just watched She-Hulk episode 4. We're a little delayed, but we are back. All right, Kevin, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask you, did you like this one or did you not?
I did. Like it, I had to watch it twice to really like it, though. It kind of got me where it was like the second episode where not a whole lot happened,
right?
But there was more action to this episode, so I mean that did make up for it. But then there was a lot more humor to this episode that really drove it home more so than the action.
Yeah, I'd agree. I watched this twice myself, but no whys with this one. But but yeah, I had to, the first time through, I just kind of watched it just to get a feel for it and actually just sit back and enjoy it. The second time I took actual notes and I felt it was fun. I'm going to say that I didn't exactly love this episode. It was okay. It was very average. And for She-Hulk, when you're only like 8 or 9 episodes, average shouldn't be something I should be describing at the halfway point.
Yes, and that's important to note is because the last episode is going to air on October 12th.
Right.
So there's 3-4 more episodes to go. So we're only halfway, or we're at the halfway point.
Right.
And Marvel typically won't let you see who the real bad guy is until like the second to last episode.
I know.
Which was great with WandaVision, but they rushed it really bad with Loki. Like the last episode of Loki was just a fight scene. That's all it was. There was nothing more to Kang's character. So I'm hoping they don't do that with this, where they don't just bop the bad guy on you in the last 2 episodes, or even the last episode was a fight.
Yeah, I would hope not, but after watching this episode, I have to admit a fear came over me. Is Daredevil going to be subjected to the same kind of mediocrity? He's about to get his own freaking show for like 18 episodes. I hope he gets introduced during the more serious portion of this show, because if this is more of the status quo for the next, this should not happen again for an episode. But if the next episode is like this, and I hope not, I'm still optimistic about the show. But if this keeps up, I don't think it's a good idea that he gets involved in the show, but it's a little late for that. He is. I just hope the show is turning a corner, and I hope this is the last of the goofy. I mean, I love the goof, but the mediocre goof.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
It does. And I think one of the problems with this episode is you started to wonder, is this just filler? Or is there anything in here for the overall plot for this series?
Yeah.
And I think we only saw something for the overall plot in just one moment during her speed dating.
I actually thought it was more of when she got served papers by Titania, but I think I know which one you're talking about. The scientist dude at dinner where he was asking her, like, you're impenetrable.
Yes. And the last thing he says is, my goodness, what a specimen. Who talks like that?
But it's as a compliment.
Yeah, right?
Right.
So if his name was Todd, I had to look it up. The character's name was Todd. And I'm thinking this is going to be our bad guy because the actor that plays Todd has had a very successful career so far.
Oh, okay.
And he got one of the higher bills as far as actors in the show for this episode.
Oh.
Even though he was only in it for 30 seconds.
I didn't even notice that. I mean, the actor I recognized. I also recognized one other actor during that speed dating, but I recognized him, but I never actually looked him up to figure out where I'd seen him before. I think it was other like creepy type roles.
I want to say so. Let me see. I have it right here. It's John Bass is his name.
Okay, yeah.
And let's see here. He most notably, I believe, was in Baywatch. He plays Ronnie in Baywatch.
Okay, that's not where I know him from because I only watched that show for obvious reasons, and Never caught much else.
The everyone's probably gonna be like, well, this guy's a fucking tart. The Baywatch movie was not that bad. It was I gave it a shot, and it was much better than I anticipated it being.
Right.
It was very self-aware.
Okay.
Let's see here. We've also got American Horror Story in 2016. So would that have been Roanoke, or was that Hotel?
I didn't watch that show either, so I don't know.
I stopped at Hotel.
Okay.
So anyways, back to the good show that we're talking about.
Right.
I have a feeling we'll need to keep an eye on Todd. I looked up Marvel villains named Todd.
Yeah.
Just in case. And the only person that came up is Tiger Shark. And Tiger Shark is primarily a Submariner villain.
Oh.
So I'm guessing it's not him. Like
probably not.
He looked really cool in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, more or less. And now he's just kind of like King Shark, but not so bulky.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah. But anyway, I think everyone should keep their eyes on Todd. And I think everyone should also keep their eyes on the best part of this episode, and that's Madisynn with two N's and a Y, but it's not where you think.
It's not where you think.
Oh my goodness, she was just fantastic.
She was delightful.
But just a couple things to point out with her situation is two things. Where did she go? She went to hell. Like he sent her to some Donnie Blaze sent her to some hell type dimension, and she meets this goat Jake, who lets her go for six drops of her blood.
Yep.
And when she leaves hell, and she lands right next to Wong in his apartment in Nepal.
Yeah.
And she's holding a heart. Did she get possessed or lose her heart? Like, whose heart is that?
I think it's Jake's heart. Could
be. But I other than this, I'd like to see who Jake it actually is, or what Jake actually is. Because I'm crossing my fingers. They're finally going to bring in Mephisto.
That seems to be the common line I've been hearing like everywhere, is like it's Mephisto, and then you think it's Mephisto's in like a different character or another character or another character. Like maybe this whole episode is all about Mephisto and we don't know it.
It could be, but the only thing about that is that's a big fucking character for Jen to take on by herself.
I know nothing of Mephisto. I know the name and the mythology outside of Marvel. I don't know the context of Marvel.
So as far as Marvel goes, all the gods are basically just aliens.
Yeah.
And Mephisto is one of such that believes that he is the devil and will make deals for souls and stuff like that.
Okay.
When they ruined Spider-Man basically with a story called One More Day, which was
I've heard of this one.
Yeah, it was loosely the plot for Spider-Man No Way Home.
Okay, yeah.
Where he wipes everybody's memory of who Peter Parker was.
Yeah.
In the comic books, Aunt May gets killed because Kingpin finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So he puts a hit out and kills Aunt May. And Mary Jane goes to Mephisto and trades their marriage and love for Aunt May's life back.
Okay.
And so that's how they nullified Spider-Man's marriage and then like retconned everything. So like Harry Osborn was still alive. But anyway, yeah, that's so Mephisto, he's a big one. He's going to show up eventually, I'm sure. I don't know with this, but Marvel is so sneaky about putting things in like little hints trickled here and there throughout their series.
Yeah.
So that's why you kind of have to look at shit analytically. And of course, her going through hell and thinking Mephisto is just hopeful wishing, really. Todd is more of a likely subject for a villain. Because after all, what do all Marvel villains want, really? They want a sample of the Hulk's blood so they could become some dominant fucking force.
Now, on the off chance, do you think the leader could come back around and Todd is just like his underling or something?
Uh, Possibly,
It's
but
just a thought.
Stearns was the leader's last name. I had to look that one up too. Totally forgot his name.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Samuel Stearns, I think it was.
Okay.
Um, which most Marvel characters have first name, last names that start with the same letter because that's how they remember their names.
Right.
Um, we've always wanted the leader to come back ever since the Incredible Hulk. That would be really cool because he is gamma thirsty. So I'd really like to see if maybe Todd is someone like the leader, or if they're going to introduce mutants, maybe Mr. Sinister, because everything is a specimen to him.
Oh, I would love that, but I don't know that they haven't cracked that egg yet. So
No, not yet. And it's always, well, when are we going to see it? Which we're probably at least another year or two out from seeing mutants, I'd imagine. I don't know.
I think we got to get at least through the Avenger movies.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, we'll probably get more hints and stuff, but like what they're exactly planning, who knows and when.
Yeah. So, but it's this episode, that's all there really was for me to pick at or find.
Right.
That could be plot points other than, like you said, her being served by Titania at the end.
Yeah.
So my guess there is Matt Murdock is going to have to be her representing her
Intellectual property.
Yeah.
The only question I have is, will he be used as a consultant? Because he would have to have a license to practice in California.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I wonder what the hell Matt's going to be doing there.
Inquiring minds want to know, but we'll all have to wait for that. And when she got served with the trademark thing, I'm like, okay, maybe this is how we get to the Marvel headquarters, because that is supposed to be part of this show. And if that's in the next episode, maybe that's enough enticement to kind of circle back around and then pivot from that point forward and get pretty serious.
Okay, that makes sense. And I forgot about that. They did say that they were going to do that.
Yeah. And so we can hope.
Yeah. It all depends upon who they bring in. Like, hopefully some like really awesome former She-Hulk writers and artists.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're in some sort of like side scene, like filling up an office and talking about, no, She-Hulk's got to be bigger. Or no, the hair's got to be wavier, you know. Or no, she needs a different outfit than the same suit she's been wearing for 4 episodes. And then have her like look back at the camera and be like, what?
Well, they've been doing a really good job about keeping things meta with that fourth wall.
Yeah. That's one of the strong things of this episode, I'd say.
Yes, and they did it more often than just the once or twice. I think they did it like 4 times in this episode.
Yeah, except the first time with the comment about Wong being Twitter armor. That didn't really land for me because, quite frankly, people didn't really dig Wong. He wasn't really Twitter armor. So they were kind of hoping for a certain reaction from the audience that didn't happen. So maybe if they do another season, they don't try and predict fans' reactions to things. They just do things that make sense for the context that they're going for.
Right. And that part, I like what they've done with Wong in the series. It's a good role for Benedict Wong.
Oh yeah, he's great.
But it's kind of taken a different turn for his character, and it hasn't been bad. It's just different. And they've kept with the meta, but like you said, the Twitter armor for a week, I thought it was kind of funny at first, but the longer this episode goes on, the more I started seeing a trend that's been going on through the 4 episodes so far, just really solidified. There is not a male with a speaking role that's not either Josh Segura or Benedict Wong that's not a total fucking asshole on this show.
Mm-hmm.
And the meta thing is cool. They've been swatting away all the dickheads that say, "Oh, the show's just woke. They're twerking. It's woke. There's black people. There's woke. There's gay people. It's woke." Whatever fucking complaint that people use as woke, I typically don't like that term because they're using it wrong. They're talking about inclusion, and there's no reason why inclusion shouldn't be a good thing. But the series, by basically making every single man a complete fucking dickhead to the point where you just want to roll your fucking eyes about what they're going to say next, that's starting to alienate part of that audience of yours, and it's reinforcing that stereotype that you are kind of shitting on everybody that has a penis. So I'd really kind of like to stop seeing that so much. Like, not every guy has to be a fucking asshole.
Right.
Nikki even says in this episode, there are plenty of good guys in this city or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, we've only seen fucking Pug. Where are the rest of them?
Well, I think they were trying to highlight that the doctor might be like a good guy, but he ended up being a complete nozzle when they woke up in the morning and he's like, "Who are you? Oh, you're you in human form." And you saw the like disappointment come across his face. It's like, can you give him more than just him being a nozzle? Like, is he just got like a hero fetish? Or did he just like her because she was so green and big? Like, is he a Captain Kirk fan and all he likes is green girls? I have no idea. It's like, can you give him something more? Because he actually seemed like a legit nice guy up until that last moment.
And see, that's what made me think that he was just a player. I thought he was playing her at first.
Well, he's also a freaking doctor, pediatrician, obstetrics or something like that.
Pediatric oncologist.
That's right.
Yeah. So, which you would think is just an amazing fucking person.
Right.
No,
most doctors are just as naughty as the rest of us can be.
If not worse. But I'm still very much enjoying this show, and I'm not agreeing with the people that are saying it's woke for whatever reason. I like the term woke the way that Brianna used it in season 2 of The Exorcist, where she was defining her stepdad by being woke. He's accepting of her lifestyle and doesn't fucking judge her for it. Yeah. That's what that should mean, at least in some aspects. It shouldn't mean inclusion being a bad thing. But at this point, so far, what we've seen across 4 episodes is men suck, men suck, men suck, men are assholes. Like even Bruce kind of is derogatory and not really seeing that she has more control than what he's giving her credit for. Mm-hmm. It's not that Bruce was bad to her. It just wasn't 1,000% supportive, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard both sides of the argument. Like, it's not just about men bashing, it's asshole bashing. It's not man bashing, it's asshole bashing. It's like, there's assholes on both sides of the floor here, people. Like, this is nothing new and whatever. But to your point though, if they could have done something a little differently, they could have done a speedy little montage instead of focusing so long on each individual date for like the span of like 5 minutes. It felt like it was cutting into the flow of the episode. It's like, yeah, she was swiping, okay, and then you get some matches. Of course you're going to get some bad matches. Some of us who have done online dating through the years, we know this. Like, the first one should have been more than enough, where he was sitting there and he went on his phone. It's like, I have seen that. I have seen that before myself. Not me doing this, being on the phone, but the other person was. So I can tell you that does happen. Or you sit down and 3 minutes later, okay, thank you for coffee, bye, and they leave, or something like that. Yeah. Like, I know a friend who exactly that happened to. So it's like, no, okay, you had the first one as Jen. Then you go straight to the She-Hulk ones, and it's like, you could have zipped through those. You could have just had like the one moment instead of like building up to each moment with each individual character. If it serves a storyline purpose, like with Todd, that's one thing. If that doesn't pay off, that was a complete waste. That whole thing was a complete waste if that doesn't pay off with one of them being one of these nozzles. Like maybe the doctor is a thing. I don't know. We'll see. But the only other thing I'd say about the dating was the first one, the muscle dude who's like, I deadlift 600 pounds. Did you recognize him? He's David Otunga, former WWE wrestler.
Are you fucking serious? That was Otunga?
That was Otunga.
Wow. No, I didn't.
Yep. I didn't recognize him. I had to have somebody point that out to me.
That's fucking cool.
I had to go back and I'm like, he looks good. He looks like he could get back into it, but he's into acting. So, and he's a legit lawyer too. That would have been funny too.
Yeah, right. Good for him, dude. I loved him in WWE.
Oh yeah. Now, you also brought up Wong, and you feel like they're doing okay by him. For me, I actually have kind of the opposite feeling in this episode. I feel like he took, and I don't mean the Madisynn stuff. I mean fighting style. He should have been able to take out all them demons by himself. He's the sorcerer fucking supreme. What is he doing asking for She-Hulk's help?
And why didn't he look for Steven?
Right. And why? I mean, I know they made the comment later, like, you know, or he could have, I don't think anybody made the comment. Maybe I just thought it, but like, he could have gone to this magician, Donnie Blaze, and just taken the goddamn ring back and been like, you know, I got more power than you. Hand that over. Or if he was going to do the court thing, he has stolen property.
That's
like,
right.
He stole that from us. He left, he got kicked out from his kegger, and he brought his buddy here. And when he left, he stole some of our weapons or ceremonial artifacts or whatever you want to call it. He stole that shit. He's using our stuff. That is infringement, or that's not his property. He needs to return it back. If he wants to practice his magic, fine, but that is ours. That would have had more of a ground than, oh, he just needs to stop practicing magic. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? And you took away how strong he really is. And I was like, not okay with that. It's like, you could have done that little vortex thing from the word go and sucked all them demons out of there.
You would think.
So I was very disappointed that they kind of scaled him down a bit. He's supposed to be Sorcerer Supreme and a badass. What's he doing begging for, I need help, I need help, I need help? When in like Doctor Strange 2, he was just as good as Steven as anybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a reason why he became Sorcerer Supreme, and it wasn't because he was a librarian,
right?
I guess it helped, but no, I see your point there, and I was definitely curious as to why he calls for She-Hulk, because that's her show, but why he would call for She-Hulk instead of Stephen Strange, which again makes me think maybe this takes place during the blip.
That's a good.
It may not. It just could be a loophole. I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't had a clear timeline set yet either in this show, because they've barely mentioned like anything outside of the world of She-Hulk. If they do, it's like a web page super quick or whatever.
Yeah, but I didn't dislike the stuff with Wong. I could see.
I like Wong. Yeah.
But that courtroom scene where he basically stands up and tells the judge that it's not simple parlor tricks that they're upset about. It's the fact that this man's trying to use superpowers that he can't necessarily control, and that's a danger. And the judge sees this bunny is like, oh, isn't the bunny cute? And just fucking disregards it. It's like,
that was annoying.
Yeah.
It don't work like that. Oh, no. It's a bunny. Okay, you can keep doing your job.
And I got a bird too. It's like, oh.
Okay, I actually laughed at that.
Yes, but you'd be held
Because I wasn't expecting him to be a complete tool like that. But I shouldn't have been surprised. So, he's like doing all these actual tricks, and it's like, oh, I got a bird for you.
The first time I watched it, when it started out, like I've got a couple friends who are very good magicians, and I had to call them to double check a couple things that I was taking notes on.
Yeah.
And one is that probably was not the Mystic Castle.
I believe that.
Really got to know somebody or be sneaky to get any kind of video footage or pictures in there without permission.
Okay.
And then it shows his hype man, Cornelius P. Willows, or whatever his name was.
Dude, that guy was great.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
He was so bad.
He was so bad, he was fun though.
Yes, he was. Like when she's like, "Are you just hype manning him?" Maybe. Like I got that. Like it got me in the feels that he was a piece of shit hype man, because everybody knows I'm kind of a hype man online. But the people I hype up are actually really talented. So, but this guy, I don't know if you noticed on his door to the office when Jen served them the cease and desist, was the owner of the Mystic Castle. And I'm like, no. I'm like, come on now.
Could he be Mephisto?
Well, he said he knows Jake.
I know Jake.
That might have been important. Or he's just talking out his ass. Who knows?
Oh, I know a Jake. It may not be the Jake.
But the magic tricks that they were doing,
those were fucking horrible.
They were so bad in the courtroom. But I told my friend Brian from high school, who had worked at the Mystic Castle before, I'm like, dude, this guy is performing the most awkward tricks, and it's so difficult for me to watch. He's like, oh, I've seen people do pretty awkward tricks. I'm like, this is very bad. It's very bad. They're spoofing Chris Angel hard.
Oh, yeah. Donnie Blaze.
Yeah. And he's got no shirt on, pasty as I am.
Oh, the second the episode started like that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be an interesting episode.
It was.
But then they said his name, and I'm like, oh, you couldn't do Johnny Blaze.
Yeah, I had to rewind that at first. I'm like, say what? But it was so awkward. It was I couldn't look. I wanted to look away, but I couldn't. It was just with the fire, sparkle, 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 fizz.
Yeah,
Donnie Blaze.
And he just keeps like, and nothing's happening. I thought that was great.
I haven't seen a magic trick that good since the Flash TV series where Mark Hamill played the trickster.
Yeah, right.
That was fucking awesome.
That was great. Yeah,
Donnie Blaze. So I hope we don't see any more of him.
Yeah, I don't either.
But it was fun for this episode.
Yeah, it was fine.
So, but now getting into or gearing towards, episode 5 and then the last half of the series.
Yeah.
Kind of like to start seeing, like the Wrecking Crew come back, have them be a little bit more than what they were. Find out what's up with Titania, because either she's going to fight or not.
Right.
I know this is a legal show and it's a comedy, but superheroes got to fight supervillains at some point, not just monsters that don't die.
That's very true.
Fun looking demons. Which those were cool. I did like those.
Unless they spoil the rest of Sopranos for Wongers.
Wongers.
That was great. I cannot get over Madisynn and Wong together. Like, I think I briefly alluded to it, but like when Madisynn first appeared, I'm like, oh God, she's annoying. I hope we're done with her after this. And she just kept popping up, but the more she popped up, the more I actually was like, she's fun in a bad way.
Yes, but it's like she reminds me of a very good friend of mine, my old neighbor, that had like answers for everything that were not true. If you got in trouble for texting, just tell them you were texting 911 and they can't prosecute you for that. That's not what this is, and it's not true.
No, we need you to get up there. You can't drink in the courtroom. Oh, you can have this. I'm not sick.
It's so stupid.
I promise to tell the truth. Dude, she had me in stitches. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. If she was not in this episode, I think this might have been the point of the show where I'm like, I am done now.
Fair enough.
But she's got a great chemistry with like Wong too. So like with the end credits and they're sitting there chilling, just watching TV. I don't know if they were still watching Sopranos or not. I just recently watched Sopranos, so I'm not sure if that's what they were watching. But they just sitting there talking about drinks and like, we need to find the bottomless gin and tonics for you. It's gonna happen.
I would really, really like to see her continue on it in the MCU, because clearly she's got a fantastic fan reaction. She went over really well.
Oh yeah.
And I'd like to see her stick with Wong. I'd like to see her become a sorceress, but not change her character.
Yeah, just she's perpetually drunk. Maybe she's like Legend of Drunken Master, but of the mystic arts.
Yeah, like
when she's drunk, she can do anything, but when she's sober, she can't do anything right.
An alcoholic savant.
I don't know how well that would fly for a Disney show of this level, but I think that would be tremendous.
I think so. I mean, because clearly she's way too young for Wong to be his girlfriend, but like I could see like a daughter figure to him.
Well, I was seeing some stuff online while I was doing some research, and I was seeing some like comments online like, is that going to be his girlfriend? And I'm like, that didn't strike me as their relationship, or they would have had a kiss.
Yeah, no.
And since that wasn't there, I think that's a more of like his relationship like he has with Shang-Chi, and Shang-Chi's girlfriend is like, no, it's going to be like his new drinking buddy or karaoke buddies.
Yes, exactly. Like he found that person that, even though she's annoying as fuck, he gets her and she gets him. And the end credit scene, that wasn't a romance blossoming, I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't really.
That was a friendship and bonding over alcohol.
and over TV. It's like Netflix and chill, even though you couldn't really tell what they were watching The Sopranos off of, but that looked like the HBO interface to me. But they didn't show a scene. That you just heard the music and the name of the episode, Long-Term Parking, and just, I know we keep going back to it, but like she was spoiling like The Sopranos, and he was just like, come on.
And that's why he was pissed. He wasn't pissed because Donnie was actually tinkering with the universe and shit like that. He got pissed off and put his foot down because he caused the fucking Sopranos to get spoiled by Madisynn.
That's exactly the moment he got mad. And he's like, Johnny, or I'm gonna say Johnny Blaze because I'm such a ghostwriter guy, but like, I'm gonna get Donnie Blaze and I'm gonna make him pay because you just ruined the goddamn show for me. And she perpetually keeps ruining the show for him. I mean, she only does it like one more time, but she's like, but when Tony killed Christopher, I couldn't anymore. And he's like, Madisynn.
I can't wait for my fucking wife to watch that, because that's all she fucking talked about for a week. Like, that was like his son to him. I couldn't fucking believe it. They totally jumped the shark with it. And I'm like, But
you'd probably get a kick out of this one, even just for those references.
Yeah, I really think she's gonna like it for this. And I tried telling her, like, you're gonna really love that episode.
Yeah.
She may not love Madisynn as much as I do, but I think she's gonna love Wong's situation with having, getting pissed because of the Sopranos.
If she's a Sopranos fan, even in the slightest, I can tell you, as somebody who's tried to introduce shows to people, this will be perfect. You get it in the first 5 minutes, and if that joke landed, the other one will land too.
Yeah, and they both did. I don't know if they actually planned for this to go over as well as it did, or if they were just kind of crossing their fingers. But the Madisynn aspect and the Sopranos aspect really worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, all of us can relate. We've all had that one friend that, has seen something, they know it's coming, and they're like, oh, and you're gonna love this because this happens because of this. And it's like,
I almost
I'm
kicked
still
my
watching
friend.
the fucking show.
I almost kicked my friend out of my car driving 85 miles an hour when he's like, and I couldn't even believe that fucking Bruce Willis was dead at the end.
Oh God. I know what you're talking about too.
I can't say I'd never wanted to kill someone before, because that'd be a bold-faced lie. But I'd never wanted to kill one of my friends that bad before. And he was a pacifist.
Yeah.
I still want to kick his ass for that shit.
I had a friend who tried to get me to watch The Descent. I knew nothing of the movie, but they kept talking about it. And there's this part in the movie that's really going to get you. It's really going to get you. And he didn't say what it was, but the fact he kept beating on the point of, there's a part that's going to get you. There's a part that's going to get you. It's like, and when the part happened, he looks over and he's like, that didn't scare you? I'm like, dude, you've been telling me there was a part that was going to get me for weeks. What did you expect? You ruined it.
Yeah, like I was waiting for it. Nothing
Like
all that special really happened. You built it up too much.
Yeah, all you had to do is say it like once or twice and then just let it ride. And then I've seen like shows where I got friends and they're like, oh, and this scene's going to be great. Oh, and stay tuned for this character because after season 5, you're never really going to see him again anyway. Well, why am I going to invest myself in a show if that person's not going to stick around then?
Yeah. Well, it's hard enough fucking with certain TV shows unless you're binging them immediately, yes, or even movies, because it's you go on social media and there's clickbait with fucking spoilers everywhere. Right. And then there's your friends that think they're fucking movie reporters and they're going to fucking tell you what happens. Like they will fucking like detail the shit out. Well, yeah, but we actually talk about it. We're cool.
We're an after show. You got to expect what you're getting here.
That's true. We are professional critique people.
Yep.
That's
professional assholes.
That is true. That's our story, and we're sticking to it.
Absolutely.
We have no credibility. I'm sorry.
No, we're just a couple of fans. We do want the show to succeed. I mean, we are having a good time with the show. Yeah, we got some negatives going on this episode more than previous ones, but the show hasn't completely lost either of us yet, it doesn't seem like. And so hopefully we can just, maybe this is the curb that we had to hop and just get right back on it.
I hope so. I hope after this episode, there's more of a consistent plot progression.
Yeah.
It's not even action that I'm craving. It's plot progression. Because otherwise, you know how I feel about seasons that have a story, a beginning, middle, and end, but like only a third of that fucking season actually progresses the plot. The rest of it will be filler episodes.
Right.
For as short as the Disney episodes are, the Marvel series are,
oh yeah,
they don't have time for that.
No, I mean, I also started like Obi-Wan the other night. It's a short series, so I'm like, oh, I can kind of kick that out before we start on like our next show. And I noticed like the first episode's like 50 minutes, then it's like 37, then it's 50, and then it's like 40 something. And it's like, what the hell kind of editing is this, choice? It's like, what are you doing? And even this one was supposed to be like 37 minutes or 36 minutes ish.
Yeah.
But you got to take out the 7 minutes of credits and like the minute and a half of a recap.
Yeah. Like if they said previously on X-Men, I'd be okay with that.
Right.
But again, with a 20-minute show, a 20-minute weekly show, you don't necessarily need previously on.
Right.
We just don't need that. I don't know if Loki had that, but I'm pretty sure Falcon and Winter Soldier did not, and I know that WandaVision didn't.
Oh yeah, WandaVision did not do that.
except for the last episode with Agatha. They did show that twice.
Yeah, they had to. They kind of had to because they were doing the weekly release schedule.
Yes, and that was finally where the plot picked up, and you figured
Yep.
out what was happening, and you had the next hour or whatever it was of the beginning of the Scarlet Witch.
Right. And that was, oh, I love WandaVision. And I held off for like so long on watching that and how that ended. That just, when it got proved that it was Agatha, I just went, oh shit. I was like, damn.
And Catherine Hahn is just a treasure. She is.
I hope her show crushes it, honestly.
Yes, I do too. I'd like to see her in the series, and I'd like to see her in the movies as well because she deserves it. She was just delightful. She's wicked fun.
Oh yeah.
So, but Elizabeth Olsen has even said she's not sure what's going to happen with the Scarlet Witch going forward.
They almost need to kind of like, if they're going to bring her back, they need to save her for something like really bad or something really good. I mean,
if she wants to get her ass back on the fucking lunchbox, yeah. But
maybe that's Galactus. I don't know. I don't know the totem pole of like villains in Marvel very well. I know Doctor Doom is considered like way up there, but like as far as like galactic level threats that they seem to be kind of leaning towards.
Well, here's the thing about that. The way it typically works in comics is you've got your science bad guys, you've got your wizard bad guys, you've got your mercenary bad guys. So in this particular case, you have a science bad guy versus a magic person. The magic person is probably going to fucking win over the science.
Okay.
So what we're looking at for phase 5 is Kang.
Yeah.
Kang is a science-based time traveler. There's nothing mystical about him.
Yeah.
So Wanda very well may be able to save the day by twisting reality around while he's trying to shift time around.
Okay.
Who knows? But again, after Doctor Strange 2, we don't know where Wanda's left off. I mean, she appears to be dead, although we know that's not going to be.
Right. They got to be saving her for something because, you know, the two Avengers movies are supposed to be out within a year of each other. That means they're both going to be shooting at the same time. They're going to have to split casts. So not everybody who is in the Kang Dynasty is going to be in, what is it called? Secret Wars? What's the other one?
Yeah. Secret Wars?
Yeah.
But is it Secret Wars or is it going to be the Secret Invasion?
Oh, maybe it's Secret Invasion. Sorry.
They might be doing both.
I think one is a TV show and then one is going to be the Avengers.
Okay, yeah. So the Secret Invasion, I believe, is going to be Sam Jackson's TV show.
Okay, yeah, then maybe that's what that is. Sorry if I got those switched around. It's a lot of secret this, secret that with Marvel.
Well, yeah, because they did Secret Wars back in the 80s, where you first get Spider-Man's black suit and
okay.
What was it, the Beyonder? Is that who made them all fight? I don't remember, but yeah, and then they redid Secret Wars later on, where it was actually Nick Fury getting heroes to go unsanctioned into another country to fight Doctor Doom, I think it was. Basically, they did a unsanctioned incursion of Latveria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not sure where that's going to go.
Yeah, nobody really does except Kevin Feige.
Yeah, right. But they've got their science now, and they're getting their mystics, and the mystics are really getting their feet on the ground. So I don't know at what point they're going to have a mystic villain against the science superheroes.
That's
so
a good one.
That could crush a lot of the science superheroes until you get somebody like Steven or Wong or Wanda.
Or maybe Madisynn ends up proving to find the real Johnny Blaze and we get a real Ghost Rider movie finally.
Please. I wouldn't even care if it was Danny Ketch. I loved Danny Ketch too.
Yeah.
When in the original Ghost Rider movie, they had the spikes come out the top of his jacket and they made him look like Danny Ketch.
Right.
That was dope. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see any other Ghost Rider except for Johnny or Danny. But that's just because those were the guys I grew up reading.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully, eventually we'll get around to that. I mean, we're going to be getting Blade. So I think we're eventually getting down the road for the supernatural portion of the Marvel. So vampires, and let's just not go Morbin time. That's all I'm asking.
God, I hope that pissant just goes away.
They won't be doing another one of those. I really don't think so. They're more working on the Madam Web for Sony right now.
I don't even know what the hell that's going to be about. They turned a 1,000-year-old fucking character into a very gorgeous young lady. I mean, okay, I'm not going to complain, but shit, Madam Web was always voiced by fucking Joni Lee, Stan's wife. So, like, she was the equivalent to Majel Berry in Star Trek.
Yeah.
Anytime there was a Madam Web, it was always Stan's wife doing the voice.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like the movie is like set back in like the 80s, and it's like you meet a young Ben and a young like you finally meet the parents and whatnot. That's about the most people have been able to peg, because there's been like some like set photos and things, and the cars look like they're from the 80s. Everybody's dressed like they're in the 80s, and the casting list indicates some of the names, and it's like one of them's like the Uncle Ben name, and then you got, you know, Aunt May. So you got Ben and May as a younger rendition of them. So it sounds like they're going more towards that. But the actual storyline, who knows? But it's supposed to also feature like Spider Woman, some other Spider characters, and maybe the idea is like Spider-Man doesn't exist, and they have to bring him back, and that's what Madam Web is doing. Is like, you're supposed to have a Spider-Man, and you don't. Something's wrong, and we have to fix this. But that. Some of that is conjecture, some of it's well-founded and researched, and some of it may just be bullshit.
Well, I figure when Tom Holland's contract ends or he gets too old, that's where they're going to be like, oh, here's Miles Morales.
Or if he's too old, maybe he can do a real Uncharted movie.
We bought that. I haven't watched it, but my wife did. And I'm like, wait, Tom Holland is Nathan Drake?
Yep.
Not Marky Mark?
Nope. Not like it had been set for years that it was going to be Mark as the lead.
And Nathan Fillion's not in this shit neither?
Nope. If you want the Nathan Fillion version, you got to find it on YouTube. It's a fan trailer.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, he did do like there's a little short film of sorts.
I thought that he was actually attached to the character at one point.
Well, I think it was loosely modeled after him. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong, or I misremember that. But
one of the games it certainly was.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't remember which. Maybe Uncharted 2.
I think it was Uncharted 2. Yeah, maybe not the first one, but definitely.
Yeah, but it wasn't my thing. Not the video game and not the movie. Like I love Tom Holland. I love Mark Wahlberg. Just wasn't really the movie. I was like, oh, hey, let's hang out and watch this.
Movie is okay. The games, I love the games, but it's mostly the story, the shooting and whatnot. That's fun, but you play it once or twice and then you're kind of done.
Yeah, and again, I'm biased. I love my superhero games. Spider-Man and Batman are the best friggin' games that I've played in the last 10 years or so. The mechanics, the fighting, and the storyline have all been top notch.
We should get a She-Hulk game where she smashes up courtrooms and like a Rampage style.
I think, but I'm not 100%. The Marvel Avengers game is supposed to be adding She-Hulk. But I'm not sure if it's just going to be a new skin on Hulk or if it's going to be whole new character design and playthrough. I know they're supposed to be adding the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what's going to happen with Crystal Dynamics. They just got sold.
No, yeah, they did.
And I want to say that they've been given more support than what they had from Square, but I'm not sure what they're going to do with it.
Interesting.
So anyway, that's all that stuff. I would like to see She-Hulk in a game, if it's as funny as this or fun to play in general.
Right.
I think it's funny because, again, Jen has always been kind of the anti-Hulk in a way, where yes,
just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, she is a Hulk, but she could make those witty quips, and her stories, her books were always more interesting with her dialogue, as opposed to Hulk that either never talked or only had thought bubbles, things like that.
Right. Hulk smash.
Yeah, Hulk tired. Hulk look at stars. I don't remember what issue that was, but it's an old 60s one.
That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, but I don't know. What do you think we're gonna see for the next episode, or what would you like to see for the next episode?
We need to go to Marvel, and I want a Deadpool cameo. It's not going to happen with a Deadpool cameo, but we need to go to Marvel, and I am curious to see how they'll play the lawsuit, because that's kind of what I expected the show to be, was more in the courthouse type antics going on with her, and her showing her actual legal acumen. She sounds like she's good. You've seen her do good at a parole board hearing, well, to a point, but I'd like to actually see her like really do what she does best. Attorney, and the show is literally called She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. We need to get off of just She-Hulk. We need to see more of the Attorney at Law.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a legal battle with She-Hulk and Titania we need to see more of Titania, I think.
Yes, we do. She's been woefully in the background.
The actress who plays Titania has faced backlash because of the way they've made her look, but she has been so graceful about it, like just flicking, negative comments away. Like someone said, that costume looks ridiculous. And she replies on Twitter, yeah, but them boobs though. It's like, yeah, fuck you.
Now that's an actress fulfilling her destiny as a villain in a TV show.
Yeah, but them boobs though. I like her as a person, so I want to see more of her in this series. And I've never seen her before in a movie. I just like what I've read of her. She just seems like a cool person.
Yeah, I'm all about seeing how well she goes for the rest of the show.
Yeah. So, but they're great. I want to see more of that. I don't necessarily want to see her be like Speedball, which is where I think they're going to take her. Like have not so much the Wrecking Crew be hired goons,
right,
but fans of the influencer that want to make her happy.
Right.
That's a good twist for this type of hench person.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say henchman anymore. Hench people. I want to see that fight. I want to see that fight with the two of them. Maybe A-Bomb introduce Rick Jones. There's lots of stuff that they could do here.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe not Rick Jones, but
later
on that might be cool, because that Rick wouldn't really have anything to do with legal type stuff. But if they are going to do the legal thing, they need to wrap up the mysticism in a way.
Yeah, they do.
Because it's like Jen says, the U.S. law doesn't really recognize mysticism.
Right.
So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully stuff like that comes up in the future.
Yeah. I think, I hope we're kind of at the end of all of this. Not that I don't want to see Wong, but like he could show up at like the last episode, and you see how him and like Shang-Chi and like Madisynn, they're all like partying and drinking and having a good time. And it's like, okay, now you can bring it back. Just finish up the story now.
Singing karaoke. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Aquafina was a gift in that goddamn movie. I swear to God. But anyway, the only thing I'd really like to see, aside from the plot progression, is just a little less man bashing. Like, not every dude needs to be a fucking puke on this series. And if they're gonna be, let's have more scenes with Pug, because he's a nice dude. And
yeah, we need the balance restored here.
Yeah, because otherwise it's just
like, where the hell's Pug? Why'd you even cast him?
Kinda. Why cast somebody so awesome as a character that's not as useful as he could be?
Right.
So like even Karen Page, Deborah.
Mm-hmm.
Deborah had a lot more scenes so far than they've given Josh.
Yep, that is true.
So, and Deborah's a Missy, so we always have to say hi. But anyway, yeah, I want to see a little less man bashing. Stop reinforcing the stereotype to jerk offs that you're trying to be anti-man. And just keep having fun, because the show has been fun so far.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they could lose me at this point. But
no, I'm still invested. I was just disappointed in this one more than anything.
I was annoyed by it.
Yeah.
The dating, each and every single douchebag. The douchebaggery gets old. But like you said, anybody that's been on those kind of first dates, you're just kind of like, fuck, I don't even want to bring up those memories.
Right. Like, we don't have to linger on this for 5 minutes unless there's a payoff to it.
Yeah, like you said, there should have been a montage of like sentence, half a sentence, sentence, half a sentence, sentence of all the different guys. Just mix them up and have it start saying like derogatory things or narcissistic things.
Or maybe do something different, like somebody gets up and sits down and they're all like gun shy and they're like, you see how red they are in the face and they're nervous and they're like, I can't handle celebrity. Bye. Something like, she is a celebrity.
Yeah. She just doesn't want to be.
That. Yeah. I mean, you could go that route where they're like, yeah, I got a date. And then they show up and they're like freaking nervous, or they start speaking out of their ass. And she's just like, dude, you need to calm down or take it down a notch. Kind of a flip from the Megan Thee Stallion from the last episode, where she's now having to tell guys, relax.
It's okay.
It's okay. I'm not going to crush every bone in your body unless you break my heart. You could have done more if you were going to do something like that instead of just fully one-tracked. But
yeah,
that's not what we got.
I want to see Jen get together with Pug, but that's just because I like the actors. And he gave her the safe place to poop. That means something.
He took the time to make that map, man.
I need to find what I did with that map and make a big poster of it. But anyway, yeah, let's keep an eye on the characters. I like I said, I really want to see Todd come back up. Right. But let's keep an eye on words like specimen. And again, people trying to get close to her. Anyone that tries to get close to her, physically close enough to grab a piece of hair or pick the skin, anything.
Or sleep with her.
Exactly. Is a potential villain. And so far, we've only seen Todd and we've seen the Doctor.
Yep.
So that's who's close. I don't think anybody else is relevant.
No, I don't think she'd get. Yeah, I think you're right.
So at least I hope anyway. I hate being wrong. Yeah. Especially when I do it on recording.
Same here.
So, but did we miss anything? Oh, I missed one thing. Jen, normal Jen, in her dress, her business dress suit. She looks like a kid wearing her mom's clothes.
That's what I made the comment earlier. Like, girl needs a new outfit. Like she can't just wear like the same oversized suit, and it's literally the same suit every time.
Oh yeah, well, even Nikki tells her that too. Like, girl, you need to get a new suit. She's like, there are only so many suits that fit my body anymore. But when she's normal, she's just kind of flicking her wrists around and the sleeves are flopping around.
Well, then maybe she takes her shopping and we have a montage of her shopping.
Yeah.
That could be fun too. Or maybe that's in the next episode and we just don't know it.
Nobody took their goddamn shoes off in this episode. First episode so far, no one's taken their shoes off.
That's true. That's very true.
To save them from getting fucked up.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, otherwise, I think that's pretty much all we could pick apart from this episode.
I agree.
At least that's all I could pick apart. At first, I only had like 2/3 of a page of notes, like every guy's an asshole, Madisynn is awesome, and look at Todd.
Yeah, and I was focused on Long and the story elements and whatnot, but no, I think we did pretty good here, and we're still excited for the show, and we're gonna be checking it out again next week, and we'll be back another round.
Yeah, stick with us and stick with the show.
Because we're gonna finish it.
Yeah, stick with us more so than the show. We'll tell you what happens anyway.
Yeah, and we'll get you a towel too.
2 towels.
With one Y.
Oh, but it's not where you think.
Bye, everybody. Make sure you check us out on all of our social media platforms. We got Facebook, Twitter. We are at Suns and Shadows. We're also on Instagram at Suns and Shadows Cast. We are at sunsandshadows.com. Thank you again, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.